High school football playoffs are here in the state of Illinois, and Friday night we have United Township making their first playoff game in 25 years, traveling to the Chicago suburbs to take on St. Charles North, the 5-4-8-1 matchup. And my guy here, Joe Winkle, on the call. Joe, what are we expecting for that game?
Exciting times. Got to go see the guys at practice today. First week 10 practice at UT in quite some time since I've lived here. Did not live here in 2001. Shout out to where I lived. Shout out to South Central Florida. Anywho, all jokes aside, a very exciting opportunity for this Panthers team. I think they're ready for it. And you know, I think some things are kind of breaking their way a bit. They had the bye, the off week last week due to the forfeit to get healthy, and a good chance for them to really shock a lot of people if they can go up there and pull off what would be an upset win against a really good St. Charles North team.
How do you think that week of practice helps some of those backups who are playing against Moline to get that extra week of practice? How much do you think that helps going into this matchup?
Well, we all know, what we do know. This is a Panthers team that has been banged up. They lost their starting quarterback against Moline. But I do think when you look at that aspect, having 2 weeks to kind of put certain things together, it's always easier to prepare knowing who's going to start in certain spots, whether then the game plan gets lit on fire, 10 plays into the game. So that is a thing that I think helps United Township in this aspect. As far as what has to go right for UT, I think that they have to win the line of scrimmage, especially on the offensive end. I think that they're getting some key players back on the offensive side that I think is going to help them in order to be able to have some skill guys to help some explosivity. I think that they're going to be able to have some dynamic stuff in the run game, and if the offensive line can win, I think that'll be big. If those guys can get going, if they can lean on the defensive line of St. Charles North, it's not going to be. I'm not saying that like it's going to be easy by any means, but if they can do that, that's their path to victory. To allow some of their skill players who we know are incredibly dynamic to get out in the open field to make some plays happen, and if they can do that, I think that'll go a long way in them to be able to have a chance to compete. And another thing in games like this as well, when you're the lower seed, obviously the cliche, you go into the postseason, you wipe the records clean, you're 0-0, right? But the biggest thing for UT, as the underdog in this role, make the opponent feel it. Make them get into the second half and start have their confidence shaken. Because if UT hangs in the game early, their confidence will grow, while the opposition, you would think their confidence might shake just a little bit, thinking, well, we thought this might be, a game that we could handle. All of a sudden, you're in a dogfight, then who knows what can happen. So I think UT, this is a team that they're unlike. They're for being a 5-4 team that made the playoffs. They're a very, very talented 5-4 team. We saw them lose some really, really tight games this year, and in some of those games, they were very. They had some very key players out. So I like what they can be able to do. We'll see if they can execute. It should be a fun night on Friday.